everyone. Welcome back to the Pro Bono Happy Hour. I'm Eva Richardson, the law firm Pro Bono Project Assistant at PBI. Today we've got a really special episode for you. I spoke with Aileen Bleach at Sutherland, Asbill, and Brennan. Aileen gave us a behind-the-scenes look at the firm's new Pro Bono video and how it was made. We hope you enjoyed the interview. Hi, Aileen. Thanks for joining us today. We were excited to see Sutherland's new Pro Bono video recently and thought all of you did an excellent job.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
I thought we'd start off by playing the video, so let's take a listen.
We have the great benefit of Sutherland of being able to stand on the shoulders of giants. The people that preceded us not only had a commitment to pro bono, but a dedication to pro bono.
Sutherland has a long history of commitment to pro bono work.
It's been a long-standing tradition of the firm where pro bono has been important back from the days in the 20s and 30s.
Pro bono has always been part of the firm's DNA and culture.
We obviously have a dedicated pro bono partner as well as a dedicated pro bono staff.
We've always thought it part of our obligation, duty to both our cities and to the legal profession that we take on cases for those who can't otherwise afford it.
Our commitment extends from the highest levels of our management down to our first-year associates.
If you can go to a partner and say, I would like to take on this case, that will only increase their level of respect for you. And, most of the time they'll ask if they can help or be involved.
Without a pro bono component to your law practice, it's hard to imagine you're becoming a well-rounded lawyer.
If you're standing up in a courtroom or you're meeting with a client and you end up solving a problem for that client, you feel pretty damn good.
Their relationship with us as their pro bono attorneys is the first time the system has worked for them.
Fiona was born premature and she suffered severe brain damage. I received a letter stating that they were going to reduce us to 24 hours a week of nursing care. I tried to find help. I called lawyers, but I didn't have any money.
You had the opportunity to work with someone who really needed help, and Fiona was one of those people.
Fiona was able to keep her nursing. Sutherland really did whatever it took to help us.
Andrew Laguerre, he was a runaway from Massachusetts. He was down here age 17. He killed a guy, and he was sentenced to death.
The main thing I was dealing with was coming to terms with what I had done and who I was, and how to live any kind of meaningful, purposeful life. The prosecutor was aggressive and he wanted the death penalty, but I wanted to live.
Had the case for 12 years.
We went through 3 retrials.
The 4th time, he came back down to a trial, and we won that. He got a life sentence. He's now out, he's married, he's working, and he's a very satisfied client.
I was never just another case. I was a human being, someone worthwhile, someone who had a right to live, someone who deserved to live, and that's the way he felt about it.
Success is measured by the smile on my client's face when we have a good result.
We have a great privilege in what we do in that we're able to help people.
If you're privileged to practice law, you have a duty to help others.
We've all been incredibly lucky, and we owe a real obligation to people to use the benefit of that luck for them.
We are going to continue to look for high-impact cases where we can make a difference, but we're also going to continue to work in the community for the landlord-tenant cases, the domestic violence cases, the one-at-a-time pro bono matters that make such a huge difference to those clients.
To start off, why did the firm decide to make a pro bono video?
So we really hadn't done any kind of internal or external marketing piece in a long time. A lot of our internal storytelling was forwarding firm-wide emails, and we really wanted some kind of marketing piece internally just to share the stories of these big client wins and make everyone who wasn't necessarily involved with the case experience the life-changing results that these clients are getting from our giving pro bono services. And then also externally, we really didn't have an annual report or anything that really described what we were doing. And when we were getting requests from people or people going onto our website, it was just very text heavy. And so we wanted a communications piece that had a little bit more motion to it.
Great. And as far as deciding on the content, can you talk a little bit about this decision-making process and who was involved?
Yeah, so this came out, our pro bono partner, John Fleming, and I had kind of discussed, from the beginning of whether we wanted to do an annual report and what kind of marketing piece we wanted. Once we decided on the video, we had kind of used our experience going to PBI conferences and then also just looking at what a lot of corporations and their corporate social responsibility departments are doing. And we decided that storytelling where the video would feature pro bono clients was the priority for us. We have clients that come and speak at our annual pro bono awards, and it really sticks with people throughout the year. So we wanted to make sure we were representing the pro bono clients that were served.
And how did you decide which clients to feature in the video?
Andrew Laguerre, our death penalty client, he had actually been a long-time client of our pro bono partner, John Fleming's, and so he came and spoke at our pro bono awards a few years ago and was just a wonderful speaker. And we just knew he would come off great on film, and we wished we had gotten some better footage of him when he had spoken in person. So he was definitely someone we wanted on the list. And then we've done a lot of disability rights cases, and with a client and her mother, I guess they're together. It was really important for us that we share their story because it is something we're going to continue to be involved with on a pro bono basis, not necessarily even just their individual cases, but on a larger scale. And we knew that they would want to be a part of the video. Wanting to be a part of the video is another thing.
Right.
We also had a third client that was going to be in the video, but unfortunately her daughter got sick the day we were filming, but we also had a domestic violence and immigration pro bono client who was supposed to be in the video as well. So maybe for the next one.
Yeah, definitely. And how did you decide which lawyers to include in the video?
A lot of the lawyers that are in the video are people who have taken major roles in pro bono projects. It features our pro bono chair in our DC office, and everyone in the video has taken on a large amount of pro bono. You've got Tom Byrne, a partner in our firm, who had taken on a Supreme Court case a couple years ago. They won 9-0 pro bono. So really it's people who exemplify pro bono at the firm. So internally they're also being viewed as champions, which they are for the program.
And did the pro bono team creating this video work with any other departments within the firm?
Yeah, definitely. The marketing technology guy was very helpful because when the editor was asking what kind of file we needed to be compatible, I didn't know any of that stuff. So our tech team was involved with actually getting the final product. And our marketing department, I just wanted their opinion. We all worked very closely together. So I kind of went through the filming list with them and just made sure I kind of had their blessing on everything that was going on. And they were excited about the project. So when we finally had the video in hand, they created a whole rollout plan and were part of the release of the video.
What does that rollout plan include, and how have you kind of marketed this externally?
So the rollout plan started with a premiere at a firm-wide partners meeting. And then later that afternoon, everyone got the option. They got a kind of a link and a preset message that they could then forward on to their own contacts. And then a firm-wide email went out to anyone whose name was added onto a distribution list. And then they also sent out kind of a press release and then had it rotating on the main carousel of the web page that first week.
And for a project like this, how do you manage the budget? Do you encounter any difficulties finding the time to fit this into your schedule or finding the resources to get this done?
So we were very, very lucky. When we were looking at vendors, our pro bono partner's neighbor is actually a producer who has his own production company filming these kinds of commercials, but for paid businesses. And he donated his production services pro bono, and he was able to find kind of friends in the industry he had worked with who were on our price point. So I kind of calculated how much it would cost to produce and print an annual report over 4 years, which is what we would consider the shelf life of the video, and just tried to stay in that number. And luckily, having somebody who's willing to donate the production services themselves ended up making it possible for us to have a very high-quality video. We didn't want to do a video if we didn't think it was going to be well produced. So to us, that was one of the most important things. And if we couldn't find kind of a high-level vendor and a high-quality final product, we weren't going to release it. So we lucked out on that one.
Yeah, definitely. And do you have any lessons learned from the whole video making process that you'd like to share?
Definitely when you said about finding the resources of time, trying to schedule travel for when people are going to be in the Atlanta office to find time to shoot, because we have people from across the firm who are in the video. And then also just the time of having somebody interview. None of this was scripted, so we just interviewed people for about a half an hour. And when you break all that down into 3 minutes, it's really hard to lose so many wonderful one-liners and some of the great stories that you just can't fit into 3 minutes. So one of the lessons learned that I'm hoping we can kind of, work off of from here is we want to use that footage in another way, because it's very hard to break something down into such a short amount of time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask about that, actually, what other plans for any leftover footage you had. So that's great that you have so much left over. Do you know at all what you're going to do with that?
Yeah, we're definitely, we're going to continue, I think, to film client stories as clients want to be involved, and whether that's through the same group of folks or not, we're not sure, but we're going to dig into kind of the footage that we have and everything that kind of is on the cutting room floor, but was very valuable to re-edit the video to keep it fresh as we like. And then some of the stories we're going to take out. For example, there is a woman from actually the Coca-Cola company. She's retired and she's a pro bono advocate, and she was in the video because she had worked on the same immigration case for the client we were going to feature. And she talks a lot about this one woman's story in particular, and has a very good clip about the business case for pro bono and how nice it was to work together. And so that's the kind of video that I would like to keep and find another use for. That's still to be determined.
I'm also curious, you said you didn't do any of the interviews scripted. So what was the thought process behind that decision? Because I know some other pro bono videos are scripted.
Yeah, so that actually made us a little bit nervous, but it was the producer's recommendation, and he just thought it was going to come off too stiff. And we went in knowing we wanted to feature pro bono clients, and we went in knowing we wanted the internal folks to be, pro bono champions and have a leadership role by being in the video, and in itself it being appreciation for all they've done for the firm. But the idea of scripting it, I have seen videos where it does seem a little bit too purposeful.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we did it that way, because we had certain leading questions like describe your favorite pro bono moment, why do you participate in pro bono, just kind of the general questions. And we'd like to see where that led. And for a lot of people, it led to the same place, which is where we got a lot of the, repetitive how proud they are of the firm content. And it was nice because it wasn't something we were prompting people to say. It actually is how people feel. So we wanted it to be genuine. We wanted it to be in their own words, and we didn't want it to feel like when people saw the video internally that, they're just being told to say this. Everybody who provided content, that was their own words.
And just curious, did you have any bloopers from the process that were particularly funny? Or?
So I'm very upset because we were going to have a blooper reel, and that was definitely part of it, but we were working with such professionals. They had this whole sound audio mixing thing going on where a lot of the bloopers came when the cameras weren't rolling. So, and a lot of the bloopers come when things are scripted, and since we didn't script it, we didn't have a lot of content. But if we do another video, we're definitely getting bloopers.
Yeah, that's a fun idea. And to wrap things up, I'm curious to hear if there's any other pro bono projects at the firm that you're particularly excited about right now.
I think that the video has kind of in itself launched its own little internal cultural rah-rah around pro bono. So we're going to be having our pro bono awards over the next couple of months in all of our offices, and we're going to kick it off with, popcorn in the pro bono video, and then have pro bono client speakers at those awards as well. And it's open to everyone at the office, not just attorneys and to me, I'm just excited about what the video has launched in terms of getting everybody excited, whether, marketing, human resources, technology services, all the people that keep our pro bono program running. I think that I'm most excited about the continuation of the storytelling and the energy it's brought to the office.
Well, Aileen, thank you so much for talking with me today about Sutherland's new pro bono video. It was fascinating to get a behind-the-scenes look at how it was made.
Great. I'm happy to talk about it. Thanks so much.
Thanks again for listening to our interview with Aileen Bleach at Sutherland, Asbill, and Brennan. We've tweeted Sutherland's pro bono video, so visit our Twitter feed at pro bono INST to check it out. You can also hear more about Sutherland's pro bono program in our previous interview with John Fleming. To listen to that episode and others, visit www.probonoinst.org/podcast. By the way, we love listener mail. We love it so much that we're planning a future episode devoted to the mailbag. If you have thoughts, comments, questions, or anything else about pro bono, send them to us at probono@probonoinst.org. But be warned, we just might read them on the air. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Pro Bono Happy Hour.